Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay from the Dorset Mental Health Forum. I'm a peer specialist there, and we've just been doing some videos on fight and flight, and we're going to do one on routine as well. But this episode is all about relaxation. So we're going to go through some techniques that are going to help us to relax and just have a little discussion about how relaxation helps us as well. So I also have someone else here with me today.
Hi, my name's Adele and I work as a trainee psychological wellbeing practitioner in Steps to Wellbeing in Bournemouth.
Lovely, thank you, Adele. So first of all, I'm just going to talk through how relaxation helps me. So when I'm anxious and when I'm worrying, I find a lot of the time I'm doing that kind of rumination, can't get my thoughts away from what it is that I'm worrying about. So relaxation really helps me just to calm those thoughts down and ground myself a little bit and come back into sort of my rational and logical mind. I also find that when we're anxious or when we're worried, we don't tend to enjoy the activities that we're doing sort of 100%. We put about maybe 80% effort into it because we're thinking about other things and we're quite distracted. So relaxation really helps me just to come back and enjoy these activities and actually get some meaning in my life and things like that, because when we're anxious and when we're worrying, that can kind of go quite a lot for a lot of us. So how does relaxation help you, Adele?
Yeah, I think relaxation for me is so helpful. I know that we talked a little bit about fight or flight in our other video, and relaxation is one of those things that can really help us get out of that fight or flight response and to come into a more relaxed state. And it's been so helpful for me, even if I just include it sort of 5 or 10 minutes in my day. It makes such a massive difference. And I think it's probably one of the topics that we don't talk about as much, or we don't think is that important. And we think, oh, I'll wait until I have time for relaxation. But actually, it can just have such huge benefits for us on a day-to-day basis, especially if we are worried or anxious. Yeah, so I think relaxation is awesome and really important. So in this video today, we're going to talk about a couple techniques that you can hopefully bring in your day-to-day that can help bring you into a more relaxed and calm state. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about is a breathing technique that we use here at Steps to Wellbeing called 7-11 breathing. So this can really help us to come into that state of calm, come out of that fight or flight response. And so it works by lengthening the breath, especially lengthening the exhale. So when we are worried or anxious, we tend to breathe quite short and shallow. And you might notice as well, we might breathe a little bit faster than normal. So we tend to breathe up here in the chest a lot. So what 7-11 breathing does is help us to bring in a couple of deeper breaths, which helps us to calm the mind, calm the body. And we can also do this breath anywhere. So you can do it when you're in the queue in the shop, or you can do it just before you go to bed. So nobody can really see that you're doing it, but it's just like a little moment of calm that you can give yourself by doing this breathing. Really simple, but really effective. So it's called 7-11 breathing because we focus on a 7-second inhale and then an 11-second exhale. But for some of us, that might actually be quite a long breath. And if you're just starting out, if you're just trying it the first time today, don't worry if that feels too long for you. But what we want to focus on is just making sure that exhale is nice and long, so longer than the inhale. So for you, it might be today a 3-second inhale followed by a 5-second exhale, or it might be 4-second inhale, 8-second exhale, whatever works for you. So don't worry too much about the numbers, but you're just focusing on getting that long exhale. And we're also going to focus on taking the breath a little bit deeper. So breathing down into the belly instead of the chest where we're up here when we're anxious. So you can actually place a hand on your belly if you'd like to, whilst we do this breathing practice for a couple of breaths together. And when you breathe in, what I want you to do is just to focus on bringing that breath down into your belly. So you want to feel your belly expanding on your inhale. And then when you exhale, you want to feel your belly sort of drawing back to your spine. And what that does is create loads of space in your lungs for a lot of breath to come in. It's really helpful in sort of getting in all the oxygen that we need and starting to slow down our minds. So when we're really anxious, our breath might be quite fast. And we can actually sort of switch that around a bit by slowing the breath down. We can also sort of help our mind slow down as well. So it's a really effective breath. So we'll try a couple of breaths together. What I'd also like to say is if you do struggle with the exhale being long, a little technique that I like to use to lengthen the exhale is breathe out through my mouth as if I was breathing through a straw or blowing into a whistle. So with pursed lips, so kind of like this. So that can really help slow the breath down. So you can give that a go if you'd like. So let's do it together. So coming into a seated position wherever you are, growing nice and straight in the spine. So just getting comfortable. And then if you would like to place a hand on your belly, it's always good to do so to feel that belly expanding on your inhale. So we'll take some breaths together now. So breathing in through the nose, feeling the belly expand on your in-breath, and then exhaling through the mouth, feeling the belly drawing back towards the spine. Nice and long exhale. Again, breathing in through the nose, belly grows nice and wide and big. Exhaling through the mouth. Belly drawing back. Couple more just like this. So breathing at your own pace, at your own rhythm, whatever works for you. And focusing on that long and slow exhale. One more breath here. Inhaling, filling belly up. And then exhaling through the mouth. And then just coming back to a normal breath. Now you can take the hand away from the belly. So it's a really lovely little short breath. I instantly sort of feel tension and sort of worries relax a little bit when I do that breath. It's so nice. And I think it's really nice to connect with that belly breath. It's something that we see babies do. So when you see a newborn baby, their belly is sort of moving up and down when they breathe. So that's a really good natural breath to come back to. So that's 7-11 breathing. As I say, you can do that anywhere you like. And that's yours to do for sort of anywhere between perhaps 3 to 5 minutes even. It's just a really good little short bit of relaxation you can get into your day. So another one that people do like and find helpful is called box breathing. So this is focused on more of an even breath, and it's got a couple of breath holds either side of the inhale and exhale. So I've got a nice little animation here that hopefully you can see. And so what we'll do is we'll do a couple of these breaths together again. So it works by breathing in for 4 seconds, holding at the top for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and then holding the breath out for 4 seconds before breathing in again. So we'll give it a go together. We start by holding the breath. Breathe out here. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold the breath. And breathe out. Hold the breath out. and then just let yourself come back to a normal breath. So that was a really quick example of box breathing there. But it's quite a nice one, I think, because if you're counting those numbers, you can also focus your mind on something which can help take you away from those worries or thoughts. Yeah. So hopefully you found those breathing techniques helpful. And I think Lindsay's going to talk about another relaxation technique that's a bit more physical. So Lindsay, would you like to explain this one?
Yeah. So actually, before we move on to progressive muscle relaxation as well, my therapist taught me that a really good technique on how to remember how to breathe in and breathe out. And she always said to me, imagine you're smelling the roses when you breathe in, and when you're breathing out, you're trying to blow out the candles. And that's really stuck with me. I really like it. And thank you, Adele, for doing those relaxation things actually, because I found them actually really helpful today. I didn't realise where I was feeling all the tension, but I sort of noticed actually in my body where I was feeling that. So that was really helpful. So yes, we're going to move on to progressive muscle relaxation now. So this is a technique where the idea is that you go through the different muscles in your body and you tense them and then you release them. So the idea is that you may start in your feet. I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. So start your feet and you're going to really, really tense them as hard as you can for a couple of seconds. And then you release. And then you move up. So then you start to do your shins, your thighs, and you're going to move up and do your belly, maybe your chest and your shoulders, your arms and your hands, and move up to your face as well. And the idea is that when we're really tensing and then we release those muscles, they start to relax. And it is really interesting when you do it, you can tell the bits that you have you've done that technique as you work up your body. So I find this one really, really helpful for if I'm trying to go to sleep. So if I'm lying in bed and I can't, either I've woken up in the night and I can't get back to sleep, or I'm having trouble going to sleep, it's a really, really helpful one that I use. And also, there's lots of videos on YouTube actually that I've found that are really helpful that just talk you through it. Because sometimes when you're concentrating on that as well, it's quite hard to concentrate on the two things. So having someone talk it through with you can be really, really helpful. And I think it's really good idea to have some kind of relaxation technique in your sort of well-being toolbox, if you like, just to help us, because as Adele said earlier on, it's so important to have relaxation as part of our routine, especially during this time with COVID, as I think a lot of us will be feeling the tension and feeling the anxiety. So it's a really helpful technique to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I completely agree. And one thing with progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR, as we like to call it, is we often don't realize where we are holding tension. And this exercise is really helpful because it allows our body and our brain to associate with what tension feels like and then what relaxation feels like. So we're able to tell when we are tensed more often, and we're able to know how we should feel and how relaxation actually feels in our bodies and our muscles as well. So yeah, again, a really good practice. So we're just going to talk a little bit before we go about a couple of apps that you can use if you want to get a little bit of relaxation and mindfulness or breathing, or any of these techniques we talked about today in your day-to-day life, and you prefer sort of recorded version to talk you through. As Lindsay said, there's so much on YouTube, but there's also these couple of apps that I like to use. So the first one we've got there is Insight Timer. So that's actually a free app, and it's got thousands and thousands of meditations on there. And currently it's got a lot around meditations for dealing with the COVID situation and managing anxiety in this time. And you've got Calm, which is another one. So there's some free and some paid for meditations on there. If you struggle with sleep, I can highly recommend the Stephen Fry Sleep one on there. That one's free. Beautiful story there. You can drift off to sleep too. And
have you got to the end yet, Adele?
I haven't ever got to the end. I don't know what happened. So yeah, let us know if you manage to get to the end. Hopefully you don't, because it's just a lovely one to listen to before you go to bed. And the last one there I've got is Headspace. That's a really nice, simple and yeah, grounding sort of meditation techniques, and you can vary the times, so you can have some really, really short meditations. There's some beautiful animations on there as well that keep it really simple. And there's some free content and also some paid content as well, so you can access it, yeah, whatever your situation as well. So I think, Lindsay, you know a couple of more you've said, I think, right?
Yeah, so I use one called Buddhify, and what I like about that is it's got free content and content that you pay for as well. I use the free version, and it's got sort of specific meditation. So it's sort of like if you're going for a walk, if you're stressed at work. So it's really helpful to work out actually what activities it is you're doing and which meditation to then choose. So I really like that one. The other app that I use is called Let's Meditate. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. I love it. It's got a mixture of sleep stories on it, like the Calm app that Adele was explaining. It's also got different meditations at the moment for the COVID situation, so that's been really helpful as well. And also it has sort of other meditations about grounding, feeling gratitude and things like that. So really, really helpful app. Both of them I find really helpful.
Yeah, so there's loads out there, and I think there's so many different things as well you can do in your day-to-day life that can help you feel more relaxed and calm. So perhaps that's for you, maybe taking a walk outside for a once a day, if you can get out, a walk in nature, or you know, warm bath, or yoga. Those are the sorts of things that work for me, or reading. So there's these practices we can do, and then we can also have a look at our sort of routine in our day and see what sort of relaxing activities we can get in. So there's so much you can do, and it's really what works for you and what's important to you. So we've got a couple of quotes here before we go, just some that we liked. So this one here, sometimes all you can do is accept there's nothing that you can do. And sometimes all you can control is how well you let go of control. Yeah, I really like that one. And I think it's a good one to remember when we are stressed or worried about so many different things. And that's what relaxation is all about. It's kind of about letting go and softening. Well, we've got next. Yep, sometimes it's okay if the only thing you did today was breathe. Yeah, really important. And this one's, I think, our favorite. I think, Lindsay, we said we like this one.
Yeah, we love this one.
Yeah. You are worth the quiet moment. You are worth the deeper breath. You are worth the time it takes to slow down, be still, and rest. Yeah, you definitely are. So don't forget that one. Just take those couple of deeper breaths throughout the day whenever you can. And then just a little funny one here to end with. Yeah, meditation can feel like this. So don't worry if you are starting out sort of playing with some meditations and you think, oh my God, my mind is so busy. I think we imagine that meditation is supposed to be calm and peaceful, but sometimes we notice how much there is going on in our minds. So don't worry. It's just about bringing yourself back every single time, and also working with those deep breaths and taking it step by step as well. Okay, so
I've always liked it actually to I guess when you start exercising and you know your muscles hurt because they're not used to it, actually it's kind of like that's what your brain does. It's not used to it, so it takes time and it takes practice to actually get used to doing it.
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Yeah. And the more you do it, the more you'll notice the benefits from it in these small little parts throughout your day. Definitely. Yeah, so thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you've had a look at some of our other videos, and we've got some more coming as well on routine and also managing anxiety and worry, I believe. And another one on self-soothe as well. So that one Lindsay's talked about, sort of how you can look after yourself in those moments of sort of panic or worry, or if you're feeling down as well. So thank you very much, guys, and take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.